Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Thanksgiving is in the books. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And now the turkey is gone. Well, in the fridge for leftovers. The ham is also probably in the fridge for leftovers. And all the other goodies that dear old mom and grandma made is all packed away in the fridge, ready to be eaten throughout this amazing rivalry weekend. And now that is the full focus rivalry weekend. And of course, we're going to start with the game, the greatest rivalry in all of sports. There is no debating this. Ohio State, Michigan, in the holy land of college football in Ann Arbor, in the house that Fielding Yost built, the big house. Let's dive into this, but before we do, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any football or racing. The F1 Qatar preview is going to be coming in later on today. So let's dive into this for the final preview of rivalry weekend. So we have Michigan on a 4-game win streak. We saw something that was like 1,900 and some odd days. Just an insane amount of days that the last time Ohio State beat Michigan. 2019 was the last time we saw an Ohio State victory. And I'm sure the Michigan fans that watch this will be looking in at, will be chiming into the comments the exact date of when it happened, or the exact number of days. I'm not going to do that math. Just probably check out Dave Portnoy's X page. He's probably got that. Probably got that all in. So, we take a look at the 121st edition of Ohio State, Michigan. Before we do, let's go into a little bit of the history of these two programs. As you can see, a lot of ones, a lot of twos. Bowl records aren't that good, but it is what it is. The third all-time winningest program as far as win percentage goes for Michigan. Second most national titles to Alabama. Third most conference championships with 45. And number one on the leaderboard with overall wins at 1,021 victories. Ohio State coming in second with 989 all-time wins, but they're number one in winning percentage. So, obviously, these two programs are absolutely stacked, absolutely built. Number one in weeks in the AP poll for Ohio State, Michigan number two. I mean, it just goes on and on. Second and third in All-American and consensus All-Americans. I mean, the list just keeps going on and on and on and on. But take a look at the actual game itself, shall we? So, Michigan is a 9.5-point home underdog against the Buckeyes. That still feels absolutely insane to me. 9.5. I said it in the standalone preview. It's a little too rich for my blood, especially with the weather being 31 degrees and potential snow. It's just going to be absolutely. I think 9.5 is way too much of an ask. I mean, last year they put up 26 total or 23 total points. And the weather is going to be far worse than what it was last year. Last year it was perfect weather. This time not so much. It's definitely going to be freezing. It could be snowing. But and then the over under 43.5. I don't like the I'm going to go under. I think both offenses are going to struggle. We may see Ohio State kick it into that fourth gear in this game. I am curious though on what the actual mindset is, because if Ohio State wants to go in with the same game plan that they did 1 year ago and beat and try to beat Michigan at their own game, we're going to get the same result we did 1 year ago. Now, Michigan is a lot more capable through the air this time around. But on the other hand, Ohio State is a lot more capable running the ball this time around. The X factor in this game is undoubtedly going to be Bo Jackson. Not Auburn's Bo Jackson. Ohio State's freshman running back, Bo Jackson. This is going to be it's going to depend on him. And then whoever is at running back for Michigan is also my other X factor. I think it was Bredesen, the fullback for Michigan. I do believe that he is out in this game. We had when I originally did the preview, weren't quite sure, but it looks like he is not going to go. And that is going to be a massive loss. Now, it could be very well next man up for Michigan. You can go out and pluck a fullback off a tree at Michigan. They are stout. And let's see. Have this spot for kind of tight. Injury report. Maybe down 3 captains against Ohio State. So Rod Moore, he is most likely done for the season, which is a huge loss. Rod Moore was the one that had the game-sealing pick 1 year ago and the game-sealing pick 4 years ago in 2021. So that is a huge, huge loss for Michigan. Max Bredesen. I was thinking of his. I think it's his older brother, Ben Bredesen, that I was thinking of. But Sharon Moore hasn't ruled out the chance for him to play, but it sounds like a long shot. And then Justice Hayes, he is out. And Samaje Morgan is questionable. Everybody that's questionable, they're playing. This is a kitchen sink game for both teams. In order to go to the Big Ten title game, you have to win this game. Both sides, with the way that it's shaken out, both sides, you have to win this game to go to the Big Ten championship game. So, let's, then for Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith and Cornell Tate, they are absolutely at least going to give it a go. Jeremiah Smith is almost undoubtedly going to play. From everything I've seen, those two were held out last week as an abundance of caution, and it's Rutgers. Let's be honest here, you don't need those two to beat Rutgers. Sorry, Rutgers, get a better football team. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, let's look at the Big Ten championship game scenarios. So in order to get Ohio State, Indiana, undefeated, 1-2. Quite simply, Ohio State and Indiana got to win their games. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now for Indiana and Oregon, obviously Indiana wins, and then Michigan with the upset, and then Oregon beating Washington. And then for Indiana, Michigan upsetting the Buckeyes, and then the Huskies shocking the world in Seattle against Oregon. And then, you'd have the one-loss Indiana, which I don't know why that's there. And then we have a potential Oregon-Michigan matchup. How in the world do we get here? Well, you got a Purdue upset, you get a Michigan upset, and then obviously Oregon takes care of business. And then we have the one everybody in the Big Ten, everybody in my part of the country really wants. Ohio State, Michigan, Part 2. And the only way that this happens, we get a Part 2 in this incredible rivalry. And oh my God, am I here for it. I am officially switching my pick just to get this game a second time in as many weeks. Ohio State, Michigan, and Indianapolis for all the marbles. We need a Purdue upset over Indiana. A Michigan upset over Ohio State. A Washington upset over Oregon. We get a trio of upsets. The old Three Musketeers. Michigan, Purdue, and Washington. And we get Ohio State, Michigan, Part 2. Oh my gosh. That is what I'm here for. That is absolutely what I am here for. So let's go. Let's dive straight to the other Big Ten matchup. So we got that I care about. We got Oregon. Oh, I didn't realize it was that lopsided. And we got. Push the W far down the alphabet. Holy moly. Oregon, Washington. Oregon with the win 1 year ago. Got not much there as far as interesting nuggets, but nonetheless, we have. There they are. As we have Washington, a 6.5 point underdog at home in Seattle. Rainy. 47 degrees. Ooh. I smell an upset. I'm smelling an upset big time. You get the crowdy weather. You got a playmaking quarterback in Damon Williams Jr. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I think in my original, I picked Oregon to win in a close one, and it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be a great game. But give me the Huskies to pull off the upset on rivalry weekend. There's always one game that you just sit there, you just say, "Oh my God, I cannot believe that just happened." And this is going to be one of those games. This is going to be one of them. Washington over Oregon. in Seattle. Give me that upset. And then let's march over to the SEC. And there, was this not on the front page? Are we for real right now? Not on the front page? How is the Iron Bowl not on this front page? All right. Sure, fair game, I guess. Oh my gosh. Alabama, Auburn, the Iron Bowl, the greatest in-state rivalry in college football. Alabama, I mean, that's a lot of single-digit numbers on the left-hand side. On the Crimson side. My left. I don't know how it is for you. Right? Left? Yeah, left-hand side for you. Okay. That's a lot of single-digit numbers. That's a storied history. Second all-time in winning percentage. Most national championships. Third in all-time wins. Fourth in consensus All-Americans. The most amount of weeks at number 1. And then on the other side, you got a lot of double-digit numbers. Albeit very low double-digit numbers for some of them. But still. Obviously, Alabama, Auburn, historic rivalry. All started over government funding. And here we are. God knows how many years later. And that we have in the Iron Bowl. Where is it? Oh, yeah, it's primetime. So it would be over here. So in the Iron Bowl, Auburn needs a win to go to a bowl game. They are a 5. The number has jumped up to 5.5. Alabama opened up as a 3.5 point favorite. It is now ballooned to 5.5. That opening number is very telling. And I think the book is out on Alabama. I think Oklahoma exposed something that a lot of people weren't exactly paying attention to. And I think, let me see. So, it looks like Deuce Knight is more than likely going to get the start. It's either going to be Deuce Knight or Ashton Daniels. But I'm going to take a guess and say it's going to be Deuce Knight. Now, Deuce Knight, he is a young freshman, and his redshirt still may be eligible. I don't know. He is a redshirt. But nonetheless, Deuce Knight has an opportunity to be a legend on Auburn's campus for the rest of his career at Auburn. He's played in 2 games, so if red shirt does apply, he's safe. He's not going to lose it. Now, granted, his 1 game was against Mercer, but this is going to come down to whether Alabama can actually run the ball. Can Alabama run the ball? They have shown they cannot do that. Can Auburn do what Oklahoma's defense did? Force turnovers, get the short field, and then the critical part of that is scoring off turnovers. That's going to be the critical part. The X factor is going to be Jam Miller, on the running back for Alabama. Is he going to be able? Is he going to be able to get the ball moving? And I'm going to double check. I don't think I don't think Jam Miller is on the injury report. So, all right. No, he's not on the injury report. Okay, just double checking. You never know. Never know what happens in those late November cupcakes. But nonetheless, Jam Miller is going to be your X factor here. If he has a good day, it's going to be a good day for the Tide. If the Tide is not able to run the football, then then it could be a very intense 3.5 hours for the Crimson Tide. You have to be able to run the ball. And even if Alabama struggles to run the ball, and even if they pull off winning the game, I would hate to be them in the SEC championship game because Texas A&M is gonna steamroll you. You have to be able to throw the football, and this would actually fall into line because Auburn, they're a little bit like Oklahoma. Offense has a lot of question marks. Defense has been solid for the most part. So who knows? Maybe Auburn can force a turnover. Maybe Auburn can get that strip sack. Get a scoop and score. Get a pick six here. And then maybe when the clocks hit 0, you will hear Jordan Hare Stadium yelling, "War Eagle." I mean, Jordan Hare Stadium, it had to have been built on some ancient Indian grounds or something like that, ancient Indian burial site or something like that. It is strange grounds in Jordan Hare Stadium. So I'm gonna go with the upset here. Give me Auburn. Give me the Tide. Give me War Eagle over the Tide. Upset, and this creates a flashpoint in Kalen DeBoer's career. He's going to go into the offseason. No playoffs, second straight year in a row. A loss to Auburn to end the season of any meaningful games. And you have 6 months to stew over it. You will have 6 months of just hearing over and over again how he's not the guy. And the result of that is either going to be Alabama comes into 2026 with their hair on fire, full of piss and vinegar, or they're going to crumble. It's going to be one of those two things. And then you'll have, so it could very well be a flashpoint, especially if Auburn hits a home run hire on the head coach. Who knows? And that home run hire could be in the form of DJ Durkin. It could very well be. This senior class for Auburn has gone through hell. Hugh Freeze, not a great coach. Worst human being. And they finally have DJ Durkin, which I know there was some things that happened in Maryland. Questionable things. But we'll see how it goes. So, actually, before we get into that, and then we have Texas and Texas A&M in the other SEC versus SEC matchup. Texas owning the last 2 games. The rivalry took a almost decade and a half long slumber due to conference realignment. And it is reignited As you can see, on one side, a lot of single digits. On the other side, a lot of double digits. But Texas owning the series 77-37-5. But A&M's coming into this game as a favorite. Oh, no. And that game's tonight, too, on top of all of that. 2.5-point favorite on the road for A&M over Texas. Who would have thought we'd be going into this game? You got one Texas team fighting for a sliver of hope for the playoffs, and the other one's 11-0. You'd have thought it'd be the guys in the burnt orange, given all the hype and the fact that they were the number one preseason top 25 in the number one team in the preseason. Nope. It's the Aggies. It is the Aggies. And the X factor in this game is going to be it's going to be Arch Manning. Going to be that Texas defense. And it's going to be that running game. Well, more the running game and the defense. Texas's defense, they've been on vacation like the last month. Gave up 38 to Mississippi, 31 to Vanderbilt, 35 to 35 to Georgia, 37 to Arkansas. This stout Texas defense hasn't looked stout in a month. And now you're going to be playing the best offense you've seen all year long. At least with it clicking. Ohio State, I'm giving Ohio State that pass. First year, playing it real tight. First game of the year, playing it real tight. So I'm not going to count that one. But that Texas defense, it's got to return to form. It has to return to form, or else this is going to be one hell of a shootout. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather have Marcel Reed than Arch Manning in a shootout. Marcel Reed's got more tools in the belt. He's got a better arm. He's got better legs. And, I mean, that, and I think that 2.5, it is so small because of the branding. Because of the branding, it is that small. Texas, the Longhorns, the flagship program in the great state of Texas. That is the only reason I can think of it being 2.5. Because I think A&M puts a smacking. They put the belt. Bevo gets the belt. And I don't mean a championship belt either. I mean, it's going to be one of those situations.
Come here. Come here. You know you're in trouble.
I mean, it's going to be a mess. Give me the Aggies. Blowout style. And then we got Georgia Tech, which Georgia's going to win that one. I'm not even going to entertain that. But let's take a look at the SEC tiebreaker scenarios. So A&M is in the SEC title game if Aggies win. Beat Texas. You're off to the SEC title game. Congratulations. Or if Auburn beats Alabama and Mississippi State beats Ole Miss. And Alabama is in the SEC title game if Alabama beats Auburn. Simple enough. Ole Miss to the SEC title game if Ole Miss beats Mississippi State and Texas A&M loses to Texas and Alabama loses to Auburn. And then we have Georgia going to the SEC title game if Auburn beats Alabama or Texas beats Texas A&M. So that is your SEC scenarios. Now, there's another big game that we need to talk about that I did not do a singular I did not do like it there's a couple games I'm going to talk about. The important one is oh, there it is. That's a new game. What the heck? That's a bad spot to be playing a game. Same time as Ohio State, Michigan. Anyway, Miami and Pitt. Miami, 6.5-point favorite in Pitt. And, yeah, it's going to be 35 degrees. They're at, I know it says Acrisure Stadium, but calling it Heinz Field. It's always Heinz Field. It's always going to be Heinz Field. Homie ain't playing that game. Homie ain't playing that game. And Miami, if they want to leave, no doubt, they have to go into Pitt and absolutely beat the brakes off of them. Now, that leaves the question of, is Carson Beck going to be forcing the issue to try to get that to happen? That's going to be the question. Is he going to force the issue? And I think he absolutely does. And I'm definitely taking Pitt at 6.5. And I think Pitt is going to outright win this game. They're going to be able to bloody you up, beat you down, and leave you shivering out in the cold. This game, it's going to be cold weather in Pittsburgh. You're going to get the lake effect. I'm sure it may say 35, but by golly, it's going to feel like it's going to be 20 degrees. And maybe there's wind to make it feel like it's 10 degrees. Who knows? The weatherman may say they know, but they do not know. They make an educated guess just like I do, except mine's not very educated. Anyway. I mean, you got the cold weather game. I would expect that Carson Beck, is going to be pushing Mario Cristobal. He's going to be forcing the issue, and it's going to come back and bite them in the hindquarters. And that is going to unlock Pandora's box. Because we have the ACC tiebreaker scenarios on how to get to the title game. And oh my God, is this a freaking mess. So for Virginia, beat Virginia Tech. Plain and simple. Seems easy enough. Virginia Tech's like 3-8, if that. Simple enough. Or a Pitt loss to Miami. Pittsburgh can make the ACC title game with a win over Miami and need either SMU to lose to Cal, which is plausible, very possible, or Virginia to lose. Not very possible. And then SMU, their path to the championship game. Very simple. Beat Cal. Beat the Golden Bears. Easier said than done, but very plausible. Or Pitt loses to Miami. And then for Miami to go to the ACC championship game, they need a win over Pitt, a Duke loss to Wake Forest, or Virginia Tech pulling off the upset over the Cavaliers. I'd put my money on Wake to beat Duke more than I would with Virginia Tech over Virginia. So, and then for Georgia Tech, what they need. Their ACC schedule is done. No matter what happens this weekend with them, it does not affect their path. However, they are going to be watching a lot of football on Saturday because they need Virginia to lose to Virginia Tech. And And an SMU loss to California. So, and then this is where it gets wild. 5-5 Duke has a shot at the ACC championship game. 5-5 Duke has a shot at the ACC championship game. May not be a good one, but it's one. Duke needs a win over Wake Forest. Simple enough. A Pitt loss to Miami. Or an SMU loss to Cal. So they got to win, and they need Pitt and SMU to lose, or SMU to lose. So, yeah, good luck with that one. And then, all the tiebreaker rules. Nobody's got time to or understand. Now, I am a bit curious here. Okay, so 29 wins to 12 wins in the Miami Pitt game. Interesting. And then there's a couple other things that I do want to talk about. We got I guess, get rid of some of these tabs. Going down the computer. And then we have a couple of coaches being told that they will be retained for the 2026 season, including Mike Norvell. This is a interesting choice. They went about building the portal the completely and totally out of here. You're ruining my shot. Okay. Fine. We'll go to ESPN then. So, Mike Norvell, he is staying on as the head football coach of the Florida State Seminoles for the 2026 season. This is interesting. A lot of people just automatically wrote it off that Mike Norvell, he is going to be gone at the end of the year. They even did the whole song dance of "He's Our Guy," that whole fake thing. But he is still there, and he's going to be there for 2026. And if it goes south early on, you're going to be right back in where you were to begin with. Now, there were a lot of mistakes made in the Mike Norvell era. And the absolute biggest one was trying to build through the portal. You cannot lay a foundation down in the portal. You can fill in holes, but you cannot build a foundation through the portal. This has been well established at this point. And they're still stuck on it because they hit a home run with Jordan Travis a couple years ago. And it was an absolute Drinkowitz got a new deal at Missouri. Okay, so we're going to be talking about a little bit longer than I expected. Okay, so Florida State, seems like they're trying to prolong it. obviously there's going to be wholesale changes again at Florida State. What those are going to be, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, you cannot go out and get a quarterback retread from Boston College. Tommy Castellanos was an absolute disaster. Yes, it looked real good against Alabama, but weird things happen in week 1. A lot of weird things happen. And that mess has it's gotten completely out of control. I mean, for goodness sake, the Florida State-Clemson game was on the ACC network. Who would have thought at the beginning, after week 1, that Florida State-Clemson would be played on ACC network, which is essentially ESPN Plus. Wasn't on ABC, wasn't on ESPN, wasn't even on ESPNU. It fell all the way down to the ACC network. And that's a problem on both ends. They've gone completely opposite ways. Florida State has gone way too far deep into the transfer portal. Clemson has gone way too far away from the transfer portal. You have to use all the tools that's in your belt. If you are intentionally handicapping yourself because it's the way the good old boys do it, you're an idiot, and you should be fired. And you can't overdo it too, because it's not going to work. You have to build through recruiting and use the transfer portal to fill in the holes. That's how you do it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what Mike Norvell does with his clemency, or his stay of execution, career execution, I should say. And it really speaks to how broke now Florida State is, just trying to buy players. They can't even fire their coach. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. And then news that popped up, I guess, about 10 hours ago as I'm recording this. From Pete Thamel, Missouri has agreed to a new 6-year deal with Eli Drinkowitz with an average annual compensation of $10.75 million. Drinkowitz indicated a deal was imminent on social media Thursday, thanking the school president, board of curators, athletic director, all the why stop now, and yada yada yada. So Drinkowitz is now off the table in the coaching carousel. And that just leaves Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. We'll see what happens after the Egg Bowl on that. With this kind of poppin' circumstance and all the media buzz that's going around, and the way that Ole Miss is handling it, the way that Lane Kiffin is handling it, this only means one of two things. He's either staying at Ole Miss or he's going pro. I would be stunned if he comes out and says, I'm taking my talents to Gainesville. We saw how that kind of grandstanding went with LeBron James. Nobody's going to make that same mistake. We also know that we're at least very sure that Lane Kiffin he can win a championship at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a championship caliber program with the right coach, along with a lot of programs. I mean, I've been dogging on LSU a lot, but like they're a championship caliber program when they have the right coach, and a lot of programs are like that. You just don't realize it. But I do find it funny that we have learned multiple times, and especially throughout this season. You want to get the defensive guy to run your program. The defensive guys, they win championships. Kirby Smart, Nick Saban. Now Ryan Day is an offensive coordinator, but he's got Jim Knowles, and when they win it again this year, it's going to be Matt Patricia, the two of the best defensive coordinators in college football. And you look at a couple weeks ago, the last time the SEC actually played a quality game with Texas and Georgia. Who won? The defensive guy. Oklahoma, Alabama. Who won? The defensive guy. So I would caution Florida and LSU. I know Lane Kiffin, he's all pretty, and he's the sexy hot pick. And you want him, but is he actually the best fit for the program? You would have to go back. The last time we had a national champion not have a elite defense would be the 2019 LSU Tigers, and their defense was pretty damn good. I think that was the worst defense to win a national championship in a very long time. And I'm trying to think back. Florida State's defenses were very good. Ohio State's was very good in 2014. Alabama's always got a good defense. And then before that, it was pretty much all defense. So yeah, it may be the hot pick, but you look at Lincoln Riley at USC. They're in what, year 5? And it's a mess still, the defense? Like, they're not even close. They just got done getting hammered by Oregon. And which is another example. Dan Lanning over offensive guy Lincoln Riley, who was USC's second coming, the Messiah. And you look back at all of the programs who have had sustained success, it all comes back to the defense. Yes, you have the flash in the pan hot stuff with Lane Kiffin and Luke Fickell at Cincinnati, and that's another program that I'm going to touch on here in a second. But I would caution. It's Lane Kiffin. Yeah, he's the hot, sexy pick, but is he the right pick? That one I have to question. Now, and which is why I think he's going to go to the pros. The pros, yeah, offense. You want the offensive-minded head coach, and you can get a very, very admirable defensive coordinator in the NFL. It's going to be hard to get a guy to move to Mississippi for a college job. Much, much easier to get somebody to move to New York, to Nashville, to Miami, whatever jobs open up in the near future in the NFL. So that is what I would caution. Now, another coach has been announced to be retained for the 2026 season that some were expecting maybe getting the axe, and that is Luke Fickell from Wisconsin. He has been retained, and I I don't know. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. It has been an absolute mess from the start. They did. Oh, they upset Illinois. Oh, good for them. Uh, this late season push may very well have been the breaking point, or the thing that tipped the scale back into Luke Fickell's favor. But the fact of the matter is, you got to get a quarterback that can actually stay healthy for 12 games. Wisconsin hasn't been able to do that. You get a halfway decent quarterback in Wisconsin, you're fine. But the fact of the matter is, you got to go back to playing Wisconsin football. This run and gun, spread it out, throw it, it's not working. You have to be able to adjust. And that's why I think Jim Harbaugh, you can make a case, is the best head football coach over the last 5 years. He was able to change and adapt and do it damn near overnight. So it is. We'll have to see what happens with Wisconsin next year. I don't think they have Alabama on the schedule next year, so that'll be a big help. But nonetheless, so Wisconsin is keeping Luke Fickell on despite another lackluster season. So, all right, I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover in this rivalry weekend. Thank you all for watching, and I will be doing a Texas A&M reaction tonight on this very channel. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, as this is video 1 of 3 today. The last one, well, it may not be today, but it will end up starting on. it will be. It'll be the instant reaction to Texas A&M and all the other games that happened on this beautiful Black Friday. All right. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one.